So we're starting our Sharei Orah. We don't really know which year we're up to yet.
46.
That's okay, whatever. 46?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds like a good number. So we were talking about the Malchut, Sfirat Malchut. So we all know we're talking about the Sfirot, how to connect to Hashem through the Sfirot.
40.
40. Oh yeah?
Is that off?
So we have over here Keter, the crown of Hashem, Chokhmah, Binah. These three are also known as Gar, Gimel Rishonot. Pegam cannot go to Gar. If there's a Pegam in them, they leave right away. That's why it says in the Sod, a person doesn't do an Avera until he has Ruach Shtut, until the crazy Ruach comes inside of him. Why? Because his Gar leave him. They can't ever have a Pegam. If there's a Pegam in the Gar, there's going to be Khorban. Khorban in the Olah. Okay? And then, so that's called Gar, right? There's no Shibira, there's no breaking of the vessels in the Gar. Alright? After Keter Chokhmah Binah, we have Da'at. Now, many times we don't count Keter, but we only count Da'at. It switches. Right? We never count both of them together. We either count Keter or we count Da'at. Okay? Da'at, so when we don't count Keter, when we say just Keter Chokhmah Binah and Da'at, we say, in short, Chabad. So the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, or I should say the Alter Rebbe, he named his Hasidus Chabad to connect to the Gar, to connect to the top Sfirot that hit, like, as if they're learning, not as if, but their learning should always connect to the higher spheres of intellect and knowledge. Okay, that was his machshava. That was his whole point, right? Because not everybody could learn Etz Chaim. So at least the regular guy could learn Balatanya, could learn Tanya. You know, at least he'll connect and so on. That's the first. Those are what we call the head Sfirot. All these Sfirot are in our head. In our head, right? And they open up in 7 different ways, which is our ears, eyes, nose, and mouth. Okay? Obviously, the mouth is the greatest opening because it's one. So everything connects in the one opening in our mouth, and they create a vessel. You can't speak through your eyes. You can't speak through your ears, your nose, right? You could speak through your mouth. Your mouth could make a vessel. Letters are vessels. Right? Remember we learned akudim, nikudim, berudim. So akudim is in the mouth. Understand? A person who doesn't have the power of speech, he's considered like he doesn't have any dot. You understand? We don't know what he. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what he knows. He cannot communicate with us. Right? So that's now chokhmah is connected very much with the power of eyes. Just like Chokhmah is considered a silent sphera, so to a person who has a lot of Chokhmah, he's always silent. So a person, for example, how do I connect to it? I want to be Mamshich Chokhmah in my life. I always stay silent. I always make myself beneath everybody. Why am I silent? Because I feel everybody else knows better than me. So in this, right. I gain higher than that, but I don't do it because of that. That's why a person who's humble, he's always in Chokhmah. Okay? Then I have Binah. What's Binah? Binah is Keneged Ozen. Understanding. Understanding, you have to hear it. You can't see it. You can't you can't understand by seeing something. You have to hear, what do you mean? I could see a picture, but if I don't know what the author means, what the artist means, he has to communicate with me. I need to hear him, right? And what's interesting, Binah has to connect with the peh, right? So if I don't hear correctly, I also won't speak correctly, right? But the eyes have no connection with the mouth in this case. I don't need to see well to speak well. I need to hear well to speak well because Binah and the mouth are connected, but not the eyes and the mouth, okay? After that, I have the 7 Sfirot, which is what? We all know. Chesed, Gevura, Tiferet. Also known as Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yankov. Right? Our job, now these 3 vessels had a breaking in them. They broke. Sha'atnez gets. They broke. My job is to make chesed into chokhmah, givura into bina, tiferet into da'at. Da'at is where Moshe Rabbeinu stands. That's where he is. Okay? So when I say Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzhak, Elokei Yaakov, what am I basically doing? I'm turning chesed into chokhmah, gvura into bina, and tiferet into da'at. That's the real kavanah. So you have in your Siddur, it says, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, chesed, gvura, tiferet. You have to add over there, chesed to chokhmah, gvura to bina, tiferet into da'at. Okay?
It's in Ziddur.
It's not in your Siddur.
No,
You have to add that part.
It just says Avraham.
What are we adding?
When you say Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzhak, Elokei Yaakov. And then you have Netzach, Hod, and Yesod.
What about Mikol, Bakol, Vekol? It's not the same?
Wait a second. Bakol, Mikol, Bakol, Mikol,
Mikol.
and Kol. That's just the ways that the Sfirot of Chagat, we say in short, Chagat, connect to the Malchut. You understand? Because Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, Chagat. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, they need to be mashpiyah to the Malchus. When you do that, then you can pick it up. And when you pick it up, then the ripple effect happens to you. Hashem picks you up. So Hashem wants you to join in His creation. So for example, I want to be rich. I have to find where in the Ari it says, where does the richness come from? Ashirut. Ashir. But there's 2 different kinds of richness. There's Ashirut and Parnasa. What's the difference? I could be Parnasa, okay. And I could be Ashir. What's the difference? It's a bit. Ashir is something else, and Parnasa Tova is something else.
Is it Ayin but Aleph? Or no?
Ashir. So let me just write the Malchut down here.
Parnasa is you get it constantly. Yeah?
Parnasa is another name for the Yesod,
What is Yisod mean?
the foundation, your Brit Milah. So if I fix my Yesod, I'll have good Parnasa. Doesn't mean I'll be filthy rich.
You'll be okay.
I'll be okay, I'm good.
I don't know, Rabbi Mizrahi is saying, once you stop the road, you're going to see how your parnasa is going to open up.
Yeah,
Keep
your
saying
Parnasa is going to open up.
Yeah.
Your Parnasa is going to open up. There's a difference between Parnasa and filthy rich.
How do you get 50 rich?
How do we call a Malchus? We call it Ashir, right? Write it out for me. Ayin, Shin, Reish. Eser, the 10th sphere. To be an Ashir, I have to pick up the Malchut. La'akama Shchinta Ma'afera.
So you gotta be married. That's
Sure,
the first.
that's the first thing. If you don't have your physical Malchut, how do you expect to have the leftovers? That means Miu Ashir, says the Pirkei Avot, Hasameach B'chilko.
Aleph.
Right? No, Ashir is with an ayin over there. It's an ayin. It's not an aleph. It's not an aleph. But it says, okay, you should know one thing. If you're sameach, automatically you're an ashir. No, it's an ayin. You're with an ayin. With an ayin.
Ayin.
Yeah, you're rich. You feel good, right?
I feel good without having all that.
Well, being ashir, no, but that's the whole point. You do have it because if you're happy, you're good. You understand? No, but there are some people that are filthy rich, right? You understand? How come those people, tell me, they pick up the Malchut? Yeah. Their Shorish Neshama comes from a place where the Malchut goes up. So automatically they come from a place that has the ability to give. Do they give what they need to? No. Do they end up in their life the same way that they started?
Yes.
Not all the time.
Most of the time.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's not true at all. Most multimillionaires don't end up the same way. And if they do, I'll give you an example. Steve Jobs, you know, he's a goy. I can't bring you an example from a goy. I should give you an example from a Jew. Steve Jobs. He didn't leave a cent to his daughter. He had one daughter. That's it. He had one kid. He didn't leave a cent to her. A cent he didn't leave to her. And he died with cancer. What was he, 50?
Yeah, he was young.
Oh, he was 50, I think. What happened to all of his millions? It went to other people. So what was the point? Over there, that's not an ashir. Why? Over there, that's the secret where the King Solomon says the Rasha makes a lot of money to give to somebody else.
Everybody else.
So he was just a pipe, so somebody else should get it. And then, so what does Hashem do? He takes away your ability to enjoy it. You understand? So what's the point of that?
So who's an Ashir?
Ashir is like a person, like a
Yes,
Yehuda
please.
Hanasi. He has a yeshiva. He gives, he has 100 people in his yeshiva. They're all writing down the Mishnayot. And he doesn't have to ask from anybody a donation. And he gives to them for the ability to continue Torah. Now, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi might have not been the greatest orator, the greatest writer, the greatest Rav, but
An Ashir is one who is able to give.
produce, exactly, with the Malchut. If he doesn't produce anything, if there's no reactant and product, there's no point to his Ashirut. He just becomes another Steve Jobs. His Ashirut's for somebody else to enjoy.
So you gotta give.
You understand? So
Fructus
therefore they say, give ma'aser. What's ma'aser?
Maaser tas.
So just put a mem in front of the eser, ma'aser. Give to the malchut. So therefore, you'll also be rich. That's a great segula.
Maaser, Aser.
Yeah, that's what it says. Give ma'aser, so you'll be an ashir. It's the same letters. Ayin, shin, reish.
Mem is the number of the Shekhinah.
Mem.
40 is the number of the Shekhinah.
So over here, the mem is the 4 yuds of Shem Ab. Put the chesed into the ashirut, so you'll be an ashir.
What if someone has
understand?
something to pay for?
What?
What if someone needs like the money at the moment? Let's say you got
So you can't give ma'aser.
Gabriel, this is the kind of speech you should say in the video.
Does he get a bear for that?
Huh?
Does he get a bear for that?
No.
Like, let's say the guy has to pay his rent. He
No.
has to get $2,000.
He doesn't have to give any ma'aser in that case.
But what if he does though?
He's doing a mitzvah. In that case, it depends. So you have to be very careful before you give ma'aser. Because if it becomes into a neder, then you always have to do it until you do a tarat neder. If you do it constantly, then you always have to do it. It becomes a mitzvah that you took upon yourself.
What if you say blin neder?
You have to say bli neder. I never give ma'aser. No, I give tzedakah. Happens to be my tzedakah could be more than most people's ma'asers.
How does that work?
You understand? I say, whenever I give money, whenever I have, I give tzedakah.
I just give the money and it won't go with it.
You have to say, you should always have kavanah. You should always have kavanah. So I'm giving right now tzedakah. But what's tzedakah? Tzedakah is parnasa. It's tzedek, it's righteousness. I'm doing my obligation. Maaser is not an obligation unless it's produce.
Cool.
Exactly. It's not an obligation. When I give the maaser, I have to know, am I giving right now biblical maaser, or am I giving right now something that I took upon myself? You should be very careful. Understand? You should always think about it before. Understand? So right now we're learning about the malchut. Now the malchut, really, all of our life is about the malchut. Because the biggest breaking of the vessel happened in the malchut.
I gotta fix it.
Exactly. The whole shvira, the whole fixation has to be in the malchut. That's why, pay attention, malchut in this world, in the physical world, correspond to women. You correspond to Za. Za is, remember we said, Chesed till Yesod. You have 6 times the amount of the malchut. 6 times the amount. You understand? You have the ability to go through more. To deal with more. But, what's the issue? You don't know what you're meant to do with your power.
Where to fix.
If you know that the whole point of you is to pick up the malchut, then your whole life changes. So Rav Yosef Chikatilia says.
It's the secret to Shalom you just said.
Mom says something crazy right now. What does Rava say in the Gemara? You want to be rich?
Give to the Malchut.
Buy your wife presents. It's a Gemara, before Eshet, Amar Rava, right? To Bnei Mechoza. Ha'atiru l'mishpataychu. Give your wife a present, because she's Ashrun. Say, oh, it's so cute. He's giving us a nice Shalom bite trick. It's not a Shalom bite trick. When you're looking at your wife, you have to you're looking at the Malchut.
Shechina.
Right? So by giving to her, what are you basically doing? You're picking up the Malchut.
What's Malchut?
Malchut is God's divine presence. It reveals itself in your wife. In this world, it reveals itself in your wife. So if you pick up your wife, you're picking up, really, it's a ripple effect, you're picking up the Shekhinah. And that's why I'm going to get to the next part of the Sharei Orah. We're going to do one paragraph, okay? Because I was giving you such a nice introduction, you know? Because it's Shir number 40. Always number 40 is a great number. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's what I have my son. 40.
Let's do this part. And it's matok midvash.
It's already matok.
Listen, that's why only the select few stay for Sharei Orah. Not everybody stays for Sharei Orah.
The week leave.
V'hamida azot, they're not ready. I don't say they're not ready yet. V'hamida azot, this mida, which mida malchut, nikrat bebereshit etz hadat. The whole story that you're reading, that Adam ate from the tree, is talking about Sfirat HaMalchut. That's why Rav Shimon Agassi says the whole story is not an actual tree. It was happening with Chavad. He ate from the tree. It's a nice way of saying he was with his wife.
Before the time he's...
Before Shabbat. Before Shabbat.
How did the snake convince Chava to... Also, the snake convinced Chava
The snake convinced Chava to make Adam...
fall into it.
To fall into it before Shabbat.
Well, it's a very not a little before Shabbat.
For them it was. And when you're going to get to the level of Olam Haba very soon in our days,
Amen.
first we have to get to Mashiach's time. Right? Then you're going to take upon yourself stringencies where you're going to be a Talmid Chacham. And what does a Talmid Chacham do, says the Gemara?
Once a week.
Shabbat to Shabbat. That's the Gemara says. Am I right or wrong? Does the Gemara say that? Shabbat to Shabbat? Why does it say that? Because a Talmid Chacham is a Adam HaRishon.
Learns thoroughly.
Before the sin. Not after the sin. Now, are we all Adam HaRishon? No, we're not. Let's just get the idea. What are our capabilities? What are our capabilities? We connect to Hashem in 613 different ways. The Goyim don't. They don't have this. They might pray, they might dance and sing and give charity, but they don't connect to Hashem 613 different ways. Okay? So that's what it says. So the Malchut is called Etz Hadat. Uba Chatam Adam HaRishon. And in it, where was the sin? In the Malchut. The greatest destruction was in the Shekhinah. Is in the Malchut. V'nistalka. And it disappeared. Because she mikabelet mikol hagvarim. Because it's the one that takes from all the 9 in front of it. K'mo shehuda anucha, like I have taught you. והיא פועלת בתחתונים כפי אותו הכוח הנמשך אליה מן המעלות שלמעלה המנה. Oh, here's the part. So I have the Malchut, yeah? What did Rabbi Yosef Jikatili just teach us? The Malchut's other name is Etz. Why are you jumping to Etz Haim? Etz Hadat. So it says, you want to know why your life is a certain way? I have the Keter, Chokhmah, Binah, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, yeah? When I cause in my actions only that Netzach should give to Malchut, my life will only have the aspect of Netzach in it. If I cause Gvura to go down to the Malchus, then I'm going to have a life full of Gvura. If I'm going to cause my life to have Yesod down to Malchus, Matov Manayim. That's the good thing, because the Yesod will only give to the Malchut if it gets from the 9 above him.
What about Chesed?
Okay, if I also bring down Chesed. But Chesed without Gevura is bad too. You ever see a Jew? He gets very high in life, he gets good, he gets comfortable, and then suddenly, there's no Shiur Torah, no more mitzvot, and he keeps. He starts to, as the Torah say, V'yishman Yishurun v'yiv'at. Yishurun became big, and he kicked, let's go. Too much chesed is not good. You need gevurah.
So
We're finite beings.
With the wife, you gotta have Chesed and Gevurah.
Of course, what do you mean? You have to give all the bechinot.
So not always gifts.
Of course. The problem is that you have to know if your wife is nota yoter to gevurah, if she's nota yoter to chesed, if she's nota yoter to the kava emtzai. You have to know, what are you dealing with? You understand? What is she? Does she need more chesed? Does she need more gvura? Does she need more tiferet?
But women fluctuate all the time.
So you have to fluctuate with her. That's why you're zah. That's why you're chesed until you're so. You have the power to fluctuate.
Sometimes you find out too late. That's the problem.
You have to know how to do it. Listen, we all fail.
After the fact.
But the Yerida, as we learned today, is the Tzorach Aliyah. Because Hashem destroyed worlds to create them. So we learn, but as we fall. The secret is not to stay fallen.
Sometimes.
Okay, so somebody made you upset.
Sometimes
Okay.
Sometimes the gift comes after you fall.
Welcome to life.
Wake up this
You wake up Gevurah. So what do you do right away when somebody wakes up your Gevurah? You send them a heart.
That's what you did the other time.
Yeah, you send them a heart. Send them some
some
love. If you send them a grenade, you're gonna send them more. You're gonna send them then bina. That's another left column. Then you're gonna destroy the whole sphere. You're gonna destroy the whole malchut. You're gonna it's chaos. It's pure chaos. Yeah, you have to add right away. You see gvura in your life, add chesed. You see something bad's happening in your life, right away give $50 to tzedakah. Right away, something's going on in your life, right away $10 to tzedakah. Right away. Look for situations where people put you down and don't answer back. That means all your life, what am I revolving around?
Malchut.
Hashem. To reveal Hashem through Malchut. The revealment of Hashem is only in Malchut. It's not in any other way. Talking to you guys, I'm getting goosebumps. But my point is that we have to learn how to deal with our situations. Always, what else do we have to think about?
How do you give from Yesod and Malchut?
There's only one way. Doing the mitzvot that are connected to the Yesod. So, what is the Yesod's name? We didn't get to it. It's the next chapter. We didn't finish the Malchus yet. What's the next chapter? Yesod. So, what's the Yesod's name? The biggest Daniel's Malchut. Yosef. Yosef ha? Tzaddik.
You gotta be a tzaddik.
So they say, Shomer your breach, Shomer your breach, Shomer your breach, Shomer your breach. Right? They say a lot of stuff. But what's Shomer your breach? Shovavim, this, that, tzedakot. But another aspect we're going to learn about Yosef. Yosef's aspect is simcha.
Really, he was crying all the time.
What are you talking about? The guy went from rags to riches.
Okay.
He was a slave that turned into the head of the executioner's house.
But to get to riches, he was crying all his life. In the cave, in the...
He wasn't crying. What are you talking about? Where are you getting this?
Yeah,
where are you getting this?
Why you put me here is
He did. What did he say? Where did it say he said that?
He never said
That's
that.
it. He never said that. The Torah says
He got
that
punished
Yosef
for 2 years.
HaTzadik, wherever he went, Yitzachen. Everybody saw kind of beautiful person, kind of nice. He was happy wherever he went. Tov Hashem. Ma pitom. Where does it say Bacha? Go find it for me right now.
Show it to me.
Go show it to me.
Okay.
I'm willing to be disproven.
Okay. Let's see.
Take a, but make sure to find it in the right spot, all right? Parashat Vayeshev, look in Aliyah Shishi, Aliyah Chamishi, over there. All right, Chozeh Milublin. Huh? Parasha, yeah. Miketz is already becoming the viceroy over there. He's becoming the second in command. It says over there, everywhere Yosef went, he found favor in everybody's eyes. Is it? He became a king over there, the head. And chas v'shalom, if you're gonna take the malchut to chayim, I'm sorry, if it's to chayim, it's good. If chas v'shalom the opposite, no good. Im tov, im ra chas v'shalom. That's why the Torah says, etz hadat. What's etz hadat? Tov ra. Because the malchut, you have the ability to navigate it. If it's to tov, it goes to tov. If it's to ra chas v'shalom, it goes to ra. And it etz hadat. ליודעים נעלמות שם השם יתברך הוא הדעת, והמידה הזאת היא עץ של השם הנקרא דעת, שיחלו וביתו ובא משלח שורשים וכוח וברכה ואצילות, ומשם יביא השם לעץ הדעת כל טוב. You have to know the secret that Malchut is called Hashem's etz, Hashem's tree. And through this tree Hashem takes out his fruits. And if you put the right ingredients into the tree, it's going to bring out sweet, delicious fruits. And if chas v'shalom you're going to put into this tree destruction, you're going to get out of destruction. What do we learn from all this, Rabbi say? Everything is midah keneged midah. We reap the fruits of our own actions. We have nobody to blame but ourselves in life. There's nobody to blame. Rav Yosef Jikatili is telling us this 800 years ago. And
We have a lot of actions, our actions connected to the previous Gilgul, and we have no idea what we did in the previous Gilgul.
Of course we know what we're dealing with.
Because we're...
I want to ask you a question. I had a friend that I learned in Kollel with. He told me something personal about himself. He said, in 20 years of his life, he never did the Avera of what we talked about in our shiur today. I looked at him, I'm like, yeah. I said, are you human? I looked at him and thought, are you a human being or are you an angel? And then, when we were learning Torah, he wasn't as sharp. But yet we learned in the Limudim of Torah, that a person who's keeping Shemer Habrit has to be very sharp in Torah. So how come it's opposite by that guy? He wasn't sharp in Torah.
His mind was occupied in something else.
No. Everything that guy did, gold. He would be in the with the people going for the test. He would be lucky. He would get the easiest test. He would pass. He would go somewhere. He would be able to get the parnasa over there. Everything he did,
The roads are open for him.
the roads were open. He wasn't, I would say, a successful person. Akol ba bekalut.
Everything goes easy for him.
Easy. Now, I wouldn't say he's some rich. He's a regular guy. But whatever he needs, he gets. You understand? That's called parnasa tova. That doesn't mean that he has the ability to pick up the malchut. Of course, you don't know what your past gilgul, but I know, how does he have the ability to control himself for 20 years? Because he never had the ta'ava that he fell in before. What the Gra says, whatever you have the ta'ava today, it's the ta'ava you had yesterday. He's right. You understand? How come none of us here have a ta'ava to do Chilul Shabbat? None of us here have the ta'ava. You have a ta'ava to pick up your phone on Shabbat? Some people have a ta'ava. They have a ta'ava to pick up their phone on Shabbat.
And they began, but no.
People have a ta'ava to pick up the phone on Shabbat. How come we don't have a ta'ava?
Something wrong with it?
Huh? No, it just means that that person has that ta'ava from his past reincarnations, that he has something he has to deal with. And I don't have that issue. You understand? Some people have a ta'ava to eat non-kosher food. I don't have that ta'ava. How come? It's something that he dealt with beforehand and he didn't pass. And he has to keep on dealing with it. It's a spiritual fight. You know, in your DNA, the spiral of your DNA is Yud Kei Vav Kei. 10, 5, 6, and 5. In your DNA, you have Hashem's name. Now, how do you deal with it is a big question. Right? I'll be honest with you. You ever heard of Rabbi Twersky? He was a pastor. He's a very big rabbi. Big psychologist. He said that the biggest way to only help a person to go through recovery is only one way. He's a big psychologist. He needs a good environment. He needs a positive environment. When you come to Shacharit every morning, to Mincha, to Aravit, to Shul, you see the people, you work together with them, I'm telling you, it changes your life. If you always want to be alone, then you're gonna deal with your issue alone. What was Adam HaRishon's issue with the Shekhinah, with the Malchut? He left it alone, to break alone. When he saw his mistake, what did he do? He separated for his wife for another 130 years. Again, he left the Malchut alone. And what happened because of that? Mitzrayim, Sodom, Haplaga, all the generations of destruction. He did a mistake by leaving his wife for 130 years. This is the Ari HaKadosh himself. Am I right or wrong? You know this, right? Adam HaRishon, 130 years he left his wife.
Where'd he go?
He went to do teshuvah.
He was in a lake, in a river.
He was in a river for 130 years. He did a mistake. We're his neshamot. Is there a plan? Is there a master plan? Yes. But does that mean that we gotta take a lesson from it also? You understand? Let's finish the paragraph. If you gonna be able to tap into the dot, to bring in it kol tuv, you navigate it to the tov. Al den midat tzedek hanikra tov. Through righteousness. That means when you're a righteous person, righteousness is the midah of the malchut. When you do things righteously. Don't bend corners. I'm a righteous person. Ever have a person tell you, oh, you're too straight? You're too honest?
That's a good thing, no?
It's a good thing. That means you're picking up the Shekhinah. ואם חס ושלום יפסקו הצינורות הבאים על ידי הצדק, if you're going to cut off the pipes to tzedek, to righteousness, אזי מושכת מידת הדין. Then you're bringing on yourself din קשה. ומצד השמאל, חס ושלום, יש דברים שבהם מתחדשות רע בעולם, והיו טוב ורע. It's going to be good and bad, חס ושלום. והאדם הראשון חטא במחשבה. Where was his avera? Well, look at this chidush. Leave this. You're not gonna find it because I'm right. Go put it down. Adam HaRishon was chotein machshava. Put it here. Adam HaRishon. Look at this. You're not gonna find this anywhere in your life. Say this in the Shabbos table. Read it. Adam HaRishon chata b'machshava. Where was his chet? His main chet.
The thought.
His thoughts. It wasn't even an action. It's a high. Tikkun Zohar says this. V'ne'enash b'mita. What was his onesh? Death. Hashem says, I'm giving you in front of you the life and good, death and bad. What brit was given to Adam HaRishon? What was the testimony? He made a chet. Where was his chet in the brit? Over here, Rabbi Yosef Chikatili is hinting to what the Ari HaKadosh brings down. What was his real sin? Not eating from a tree.
The brit.
It was in the brit with Chava. That was the real Avera.
What's in the favor?
Over there, he wasn't allowed to be with her during the day.
He said that? Who
Yeah.
said that? Hashem said
The
that?
Ari HaKadosh says this.
Who told him that was a favor?
Listen, when he was inside Gan Eden, he was in a different plane of reality. You understand? We know that his skin wasn't meaty like ours. It was
more spiritual.
He was a more spiritual being. So therefore, he had a higher level of laws to keep. You understand? He had a system mitzvot. All of our job in this world is to get to where he was before he sinned. It's all of our job. In 6,000 years, it's all what we're doing. And we're at the end already. That's what the Yetzer Hara is picking up its head. That's why today, 50 years ago, my Rabbi said this to me. To sell an Etz Chaim of the Ari HaKadosh, they would print 100 a year. Today they print 100 every month. Love this. People today want the inner meaning of the Torah. You just need to know how to learn. That's the secret. People want to know the secret, the Chassidus, all that stuff. People want to know inner meaning. I want to know how to serve Hashem. Back in the day, people didn't even know that. Why? They knew. I was a farmer. Hashem is here.
That's it.
You could see that in a higher level. You could see it oppositely. Because they knew, I need to serve Hashem. I need to bring food at home. Today, it's kol tuv. What do we want this generation? We want Hashem. We want the inner meanings of Hashem. It's not enough just to learn a daf of Gemara or a daf of Halach. We want to know how to serve Hashem. Look what he says over here. Tell me what Rav knows this. Adam HaRishon chata b'machshava. יש דברים כאלה בעולם. All of his sin was in the machshava. Tikkunei Zohar says this. And what was his sin? Bebrit. In his brit, nichrat l'adam harishon. Ela bebrit chata. Wow. Has to be highlighted, this thing. He made his brit. Because he was choteh b'machshava, he had a zer lo atala in his brit. That's what he's saying over here. Bebrit chata. V'amidah azot hi nokemet. Because he was choteh in his brit. Malchut gave him a whack afterwards. Vini fred al kol haover misal arayot. Anytime a person goes over the arayot in the Torah, the promiscuous sins, who's giving the revenge on that? The Malchut. Sfat HaMalchut. כמו שעדיין אורך עליך בעזרת השם, והנה ביות המידה הזאת שואבת ברכות עלילות והנה שפע וסילות ועץ החיים. But when you put it towards the right side, towards the עץ החיים, then this midah is called El Chai. It gets a new name. From עץ הדעת טוב ורע, it gets a new name. El Chai. וגם נקראת עץ החיים. And look what it says here. And the people who die in Israel, they wake up first. Because they're connected to the Etz HaChaim. Eretz HaChaim. Eretz HaChaim. And anyone who does good and keeps the Torah, umitzvot, v'nidbak b'midah azot, and always wants to be Leshem, lakama shchinta ma'afera, by making his body always holy, mikveh is very important. He's called Chai, he's always alive, he's never dead. And that's the meaning, Benayahu ben Yoyada ben Ish, no, Rabbi said, ben Ish, he's a tzaddik, yes, but come on, what's the name of the book? Ben Ish Chai, V'karei Chayil, V'shneim adukim ze bazeh. Whoever is always connected to this midah of malchut to pick it up is called living forever. וזה סוד, ואתם, turn the page, הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם חיים כולכם היום, you're always alive. וכי אפשר לו אדם לדלג בשכינה, הכל האמת למדרש באור, השם יזכה אותנו ואת כולכם. Whoever is listening over to be מדבק בעץ החיים, to the malchut להקמה, not just to be מדבק במלכות, להקמה שכינתה מאפרה, לעילוי שכינת עוזנו ברוך אדוני לעולם, אמן ואמן, לילה טוב.